Hello, hello, hello. Here we are again. It's Tuesday night. I'm a little bit early because I thought we'd do it a bit differently. I thought we'd mix it up a bit. Maybe come on early, leave early, you know, come and leave early, take the dog out a bit later. I don't know, just mix it up. I fancy doing things differently. Why not? Why not? Let's do things differently. And it's good because no one's here. No one expected it. You know, everyone's like, what? What's going on, Darren? What's going on? And that's the beautiful thing about doing this, is no one expected it. So yeah, we'll see if this works. See if it works all right. And of course, because there's nobody here, I'm going to have to fill dead air for a bit, and that's going to be fun. I don't know what to talk about. What should I talk about on my own? Record store day. That was at the weekend. Did you get anything at record store day? I didn't, because there are no record stores near me that support record store day. But on Monday, that was last night, they released it to the masses, and I picked up the things that I wanted, and I spent too much money. Not because I bought a lot of records. I only bought 3 records, but the records cost too much. But I got the ones I wanted. I got the Hergest Ridge demos, Mike Oldfield, and I got the Who, Story of the Who thing, because I've been collecting those over the years, and I managed to get the Roaches' first album on red vinyl, so pretty pleased with that. Cyrus is in. He says, oh wow, you forgot the intro altogether. No, I didn't. No, the intros should be there if you rewind it. It's just, you just caught me. And yeah, I got if Cyrus interrupts me, yeah, got the Roaches as well. But it's a very expensive endeavour, and I felt quite grubby. I felt quite dirty afterwards. I said, I feel like Pavlov's dog. They've rung a bell, and I should go and buy records. And I'm gonna try. I've just got to quit. I got to quit. I don't feel pretty. I don't feel pretty happy about the whole record store day thing. It's all got too expensive, and it should all end. It should all end. And hi, yeah, no. The intro should be there. I did do the intro. Let me have a look. Let me rewind. No, the intro's definitely there. I do live rewind. But yeah, I'm a bit early tonight. Cyrus says, didn't find anything in time I found interesting record store day. Well, again, I don't know if you get anything different in America. Again, I don't know if it's the same or you get extra things. No, some regions. I know in some regions you get different releases. There wasn't a lot there for prog fans. There was a Yes Live thing. There were only 4 tracks on it from 1971 at Yale University. That wasn't too expensive. I haven't picked it up yet though, because I kind of spent my budget. Russell's in. He says, good evening. And he goes, I guess I showed up late. No, you showed up on time. You're first. I went early because it's only 10 o'clock in the UK, and I came on early instead of coming on at 11, because I just felt like doing things differently. So I'm going to come on, I'm going to do what we do, and then I'm going to try and end at about maybe 11:30, and then take the dog for a walk. Do it the other way around rather than rushing out and feel like I'm rushing, you know. Though I will disappear. I will disappear twice, I think. Maybe once, I don't know. Maybe twice, because I'll have to say goodnight to the kids because it's their bedtime, and I say goodnight to them. Tom Pinks is in. He says, hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. Are you doing all right? There's a name we don't see very often. Is he the real Tom Pinks though? That's the question, because there were many fake Tom Pinkses, weren't there? Do you remember? The loon loved impersonating you for some reason. What was that all about? But yeah, I'm hanging on. So yeah, you know what it's like. We hang on, don't we? Yep, you are the real Tom Pinks. I dub thee the real Tom Pinks. Zeb's in. He says, finally, a little sooner. How are you? Oh, still hanging on. Still don't know any better. Still don't know any better. So, still doing it. Still doing it. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing well. Let's all do well, eh? And you're the real deal. Yeah, I figured that out. Did a little bit of Snoopy Snoops, and you're verified in my brain anyway. Yeah, again, for those of you a little bit discombobulated, I came on early rather than late because I just think doing it late is not good. I think I miss a lot of people doing it late, and also I have to go out early with the dog, and there's a lot more people around, and I like going out about 11:15, half 11, when there's no one around. It's just me and the dog. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that instead. Oh dear. Russell says, "Do you have a Squire 12-string Jazzmaster?" No, but I have a Fender Electric 12, which is far more rare, and because again, this was out a few years ago now. God, how long ago was it? 2019. And yeah, it's the old style Electric 12, which is a legendary guitar. This is the one that you hear on Stairway to Heaven, I believe, among other things. It's a. Oh, this is trying to. It's like that. Only downside is it's got a pale Ferro neck, board on the neck, and I'm not a big fan of pale Ferro. I prefer Rosewood. So I've got one of those for me sins. Felix says, "Hi, hey Darren, hey." And Zeb says, "I've been on a massive Hawkwind binge. Bought almost every bloody album by them. Thoughts on them?" Not for me. They're space rock. So, I like Needle Gun. I like Needle Gun and Quark, Strangeness and Charm. And of course, Silver Machine. Everyone loves Silver Machine. And of course, because of Stacia. But I can't show any pictures of Stacia because the last time I did that, bad things happened at YouTube. Bad things. So we don't do that. Russell says, "Very nice indeed." It is a cool guitar. Interesting thing is they released it. It's was it a Paranormal? It's not quite the same spec as the original Fender 12. It wouldn't be because it's got a switch rather than a chicken head rotary controller, which the original ones had. But I got one when they first came out, and I played it. I was like, I don't know. I wasn't that enamoured with it, and I sold it. And then I decided I'd made a mistake a few months later, and I bought another one. And the second one was a much better. Just felt better. Just felt right. And it was like, oh no, this is really good. Whereas there was something about the other one I just didn't gel with me. And it's funny, you can get two guitars and they just feel completely differently. So I kept it, and then it turns out that Fender discontinued it really bloody quickly, and it's a rare and collectible guitar now. So that's nice. It's a bit like the old granny guitar, the Shawn Mendes one, which I only bought because I thought it was a really intriguing design. It's a Music Master with a very intricate design. And I bought that, and that was discontinued. They didn't make many of those. Now it's become a rare instrument, and you go, so that's a bit odd, but you inadvertently collect rare instruments. So wasn't my intention, just the way things go. Zeb says, "New Anthony Phillips Private Parts and Pieces 12 out in soon. Hope it's a good one. Golden Showers, as I dubbed it in when I did the little news thing about it. Well, again, I imagine it'll be pretty, it'll be. I don't think it's going to be as interesting as his early ones, because as they've gone on, they've become pretty, it's more keyboard, driven, and a bit more, not as. esoteric as they used to be. But in the first few, I really liked the first. Was it first 10? I can't remember. Can't remember what the last good one was. Mind you, even New England, Private Parts and Pieces, whatever. I really like that record, but that's not really a Private Parts and Pieces album. I think it was just called that because that feels more distinct. It feels more like an actual album than a collection of oddities. So anyway, I'm going off on that. Russell says I might order some of that fretboard darkening stuff you reviewed. Oh, the Monty's guitars. Guys, use it. I use it because this is probably a better example. He said I haven't used it much on the 12 string, but this fretless one is a Pal Ferro, and I've used it extensively on this one. And this was kind of dry and dusty when I got it. But what I also did for this one is I actually sanded it, and it feels it's buttery smooth now. So yeah, let's widen the shot. That's better. We can look a bit better. This is just a Fender Player, fretless one. I got this cheap off of Bax Music. It was one of their B stock items, and it does me for the thing. But though I don't know, I've been toying with the idea of replacing the pickups. I've never really done that before, but while I don't mind the instrument, the pickups they lack a little bit of oomph. But yeah, with this one, this was a Pal Ferro neck, and I used some of that Monty stuff, and I do recommend it. And I sanded it down so it was nice and flat. It was really dry and dusty, and I used a lot of that on there. I've maybe done about 2 or 3 applications, and it's come up almost rosewoody now. Look, it's almost rosewoody, and it really does bring out its own, because it has got some interesting, I don't know if you can see that, it has got some interesting streaks of running through it. It's not the shadows of the strings. There are actually interesting streaks running through that instrument. So it's good if you've got a Pal Ferro neck that is a bit needing, a little bit wanting, needs some attention. Though Pal Ferro, it's funny because I don't know if it was you, Russell, who was talking to me on my music channel, because there's a video. I did a video, boring music stuff about the thing, and I was talking about it. Maybe it was to you. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, I really recommend it. But Pal Ferro needn't be dry and dusty, because Reverend guitars, I think it's Reverend, they use Pal Ferro necks, but they treat the board really well, and they do some sort of treatment on it. I think some of these they have lacquered boards as well, and it's just, that's, if you're going to use it, sand it down properly and give it some treatment, to make it look nice. And Fender needs to do that, and I don't think they do. I mean, they also use Indian Laurel. Indian Laurel isn't bad as a Rosewood replacement, but the whole CITES thing's kind of gone now, so I don't even know, extreme close-up, why they even bother with all of that, Payne's in, he says good evening, and he says good evening to the chat as well. And Russell says very true, guitars are unique indeed. David says listen to Atom Heart Mother today, honestly one of my favourite Pink Floyd albums, really love it even though the band feels differently. Yeah, I mean, I like the first side, the Atom Heart Mother thing. It's one of those things that you put on, and again, I mean, I could hum some of it. That's it. Doesn't sound anything like it, but it's one of those songs. I put it on and I go, oh, I remember this one. It's the bit with the voices. Oh, I like it. But the B side's a bit, it's a bit iffy, and there's some good bits, but I don't mind it. It's not bad. And Russell says it wasn't me, but it's interesting. Okay. But no, like I said, somebody else was talking about the Monty's. I don't know what they call it now. It's got a name. But they would also do some treatment wax that you could buy. I haven't tried that. I got mine a long time ago when I think they first started selling it. and I've got loads left. It's going to last me years, you know. I wish, but I wanted a little tin. They do it in little tins now, whereas mine's in a paper cup. It's basically in a paper cup with a lid on it. So, you know, but you know, it's good if you're dealing with pale ferro, and you know, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a hack. You know, it's a bit of a, you know, if you want something that looks a bit darker. But really, rosewood should be a thing now. But saying that, Fender have put their prices up, and they're using rosewood boards on the new Vintera 2 range, and you're looking at paying like 1,200 quid for you know, in the previous Vintera ranges were like 700-800, and now they've put another, well, what is that? Nearly 400 quid on, and I think that's just crazy. But you know, I don't know how the guitar market can sustain itself half the time, because they bring out all these new models all the time, and I don't remember there being such a variety of releases every year when I was younger. It seems in the last 10 years, you know, all of them, you know, Gibson as well, just gone guitar crazy, you know, so it's hard to keep up with it. Yeah. Payne says that Monty wax looks good stuff. I think companies went pale ferro because of the Chinese had a fashion for rosewood furniture for a time. Well, there was a weird time about 10 years ago where there's a thing called CITES. That's CITES, and rosewood was put on it as a rare wood, you know, a protected species. And America has certain rules, because I think the CITES rules come out of America, and you can't import guitars. This is why it's very hard. If I can sell guitars to America, but I can't sell certain guitars to America because of CITES. I'd have to get CITES documentation explaining where the woods that make up the guitar come from, which, if you've got a second-hand instrument or a third-hand instrument or an old instrument that you don't know where it came from, makes it very problematic. And it's really dumb, because I don't think it's guitars that are causing the rainforest to be, you know, diminished. I don't think it. Well, wouldn't it be fun if it was? It was Gibson all along. Boo. But yeah, CITES rules. It's really weird. It all went a bit crazy about 2010. I think it was 2008, 2010. Maybe it was. Yeah, it was about that time. Might have been a bit later. I can't remember. I think in 2010, and everything got weird. And guitars, just they weren't exporting them, and that's why they were looking for alternatives. Whereas rosewood used to be on everything. Now they're on the kind of the higher end guitars. Whereas I think Gibson still use it, but then Gibson's expensive. So, but Fender's strategy is a bit odd. But there you go. Russell says, I thought it was just US Fender stuff with the rosewood now. No, the Vintera 2 range have rosewood boards. Wait there. We can demonstrate. Oh, this is the bass 6 from the Vintera 2 range. And this has a slab rosewood fingerboard. Though, to me, it looks so dark. It looks almost like ebony, and it doesn't feel. It feels a bit rough. It hasn't got that nice. It hasn't got that nice pattern that you get with a rosewood neck. He says, and then we go to a really old guitar, one of my oldest. Wig. See, look, now that's rosewood. Look at it. See, that's rosewood, isn't it? You see? Whereas the other one's quite dark. I mean, let's just do next, shall we? Should we just do next time? Oops. Oh, blimey. Boing. Boing. Whew, a bit puffed out. I haven't taken the dog out yet. I mean, this is a rosewood one as well, though this one looks dark, like the previous one. I mean, it's got almost like an ebony kind of look to it. That's an American though. That's an American Mustang bass, which is very, very nice. I like that one. It's good when my hand is giving me jip. I like it. It's short scale. Very good. Very, very good. Russell says, shame we can't get more Rosewood. It's only a slither of the instrument requires. Exactly. It's not like there's the whole neck is made of rosewood. Though they do rosewood necks, funny enough, if you go to the custom shop. Sometimes you can build your own, on Fender you can build your own custom guitar, the mod shop I think it's called, and they do have solid rosewood necks sometimes, and you think, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have totally rosewood, or just maybe a rosewood neck. It'd be nice. But yeah. And David asked, so Darren, I was wondering, do you ever listen to that band anymore? You know, that band, the one you have an issue with. I don't have an issue with them. They have an issue with me. No, I don't listen to them. Why would I? Very rarely. If the mood grips me, and if I do, it's usually Lark's Tongues and Aspic because it's my favourite. But no, I don't have any reason to listen to their music because what's the point? I've forgotten them. They're no longer part of my life. But they have an issue with me. I don't have an issue with them. They have an issue with me. And you don't promote people who are trying to destroy you. So, so that's it. Fuck them. Fuck them all. Russell says, you have so much Fender goodness. I'm a bit of a Fender boy, you see. It's... I remember the missus saying, she said to me, oh, but you always like Gibsons back in the day. And I went, yeah, I like the idea of owning a Gibson until I went to the guitar shop and saw the price of them. And it all began with this one back in 1996. And I went into a guitar shop, it was in London, Denmark Street. And I was looking on the wall and I saw this hanging on the wall. And I don't know, I just liked it because it was all black. And I went, I'll try that one, please. I tried it. It just felt like the right one, And it was £329. And the nice man gave me a hard case, which I've still got to this day, which I'll put this in. And I've knocked it about. I've taken chunks out of it and I've repaired it, and and whatnot. And it's it's just an old. And it's interesting because it's only got a volume and a tone, which I like. Don't get that very often on a Strat. You always get the two tone knobs, and this one doesn't. It just has volume, tone, and a switch that Kyle switches the humbucker there. But yeah, that was the first one, and then after that I was just like, oh, Fender. And then I got my Fender bass 9 years later. There was a big gap between guitars. Then I had a little dalliance with Godin for a while because of the whole guitar synth thing, and then once I sold all my gear and I had a bit of money, I just bought some Fender stuff, and I've just stuck with them because I kind of like them. I like the noises they make, and if they go wrong, I know where to stick the soldering iron. I know where to how to fix them. So they're convenient. They're convenient for me. Russ says, I like my Fender Japan jazz bass with rosewood neck, 1990s. Well, I've got a 2010 jazz bass there, but it's got a maple neck. That's from the Harwood collection. That's one I'm keeping because I do like a bass guitar. I've got too many bass guitars, that's the problem. Can't play them all at once. But, can't help myself. That and the Rickenbacker as well. Payne says, George Harrison Telecaster, all rosewood. Indeed, good mention that. Yeah, that's a legend. That's one of those legendary guitars. And again, it's one of those guitars that Fender every so often brings out as a limited edition, but it's way beyond my expense. I could never afford one of those. They look nice though, but I think they're hollow. They're like a sandwich of rosewood, because if it was solid rosewood, I think the original one was. But if it was solid rosewood, you wouldn't be able to lift the bleeding thing because it's very, very dense. That's why they use it for the fretboard. But yeah, so George Harrison's one was solid, but the more recent ones now, I think it's like a sandwich, and they hollow out. They do weight relief in the middle, so they kind of hollow it out, and so otherwise you can, otherwise you fall over, break a neck, with it. So yeah, David says that's a shame since their music is great, but it is. I understand. Thankfully, I've never had any bad interaction with my favourite artists. That's because you're not me. That's why. Do what I do and be honest. And like I said, more recently I've discovered that I've been actually blocked from both the Yes and Marillion Facebook page, which is weird because I don't know why Marillion would have blocked me on Facebook, because I never left any comments. Or on Yes. Yes have blocked me on their comments for years, but then I thought I'd check out what's going on. Record Store Day, and no, blocked. Okay. And Marillion came by accident because somebody posted a Marillion link and went to click on it and went, you can't see this. It's like, oh, that's nice. Nobody likes me. But I don't care. It just means I have to use other means to find out the information I want. I just use the Facebook as an information source. I'm not there to be a fan like the other people. I'm just so it is what it is, and that's without like the insults from Fish or Nad Sylvan or Armando Gallo. Oh dear. Yeah, it'd be fine. No, but I mean the thing is you kind of go in and out of things with bands. I never listened to that band's albums a lot anyway. I used to buy, because again, going back to the late 90s, they were one of the few bands that were releasing things on a schedule. I've got to say good night for a moment. So here you go. Sorry about that. Just had to say good night to Herb, and well, say good night to Ferret as well. So you have me now for the rest of the time. So you have me for another Meister now. But yeah, I only kind of was listening to them because they were releasing stuff consistently during the, I guess it would have been the Thrack period. And then there was the Collectors Club, which was, again, it was a nice thing to be a part of. And I just, they were the only band that were, constantly putting stuff out. And so I was buying it and listening to that, and, and you're in, aren't you? You're in. Because it was an active environment, I was part of it. But it's like everything else. You're not gonna support people that want to destroy you, are you? No, I'm not. especially when they spread terrible lies about you as well. It's just, oh, I don't know. Declan Colgan, eh? God, boy. What's he like? I won't say that. I won't say that. just yeah. If you just search him up, you'll find out. You do your own googling. Where am I? Got to find where I was now. Bjorn's in. He said, "Wow, early tonight. I haven't checked before now." Well, it's because I thought I'd try and do something a bit different. I think going late is not a good thing. As you can see, there are more people in. I started at 10, and more people are in, so I might swap it round because, and also I don't want to take the dog out early because there's lots more people around, and I like to go out later. So we're trying something different. All right. Sorry if it's different. You'll get used to it. Russell says, I like Fender products and enjoy the abundance of models available. They are good, and they're not like Gibson. Gibson just does Les Paul. Here's another Les Paul. Do you want a Les Paul? Have another Les Paul. Here's an SG. But thanks to the Harwood collection, I know that I'm not a fan of SGs. Yeah. And as for Les Paul, if you want to sound like every kind of rock guitarist, you get a Les Paul, and I don't really want to sound like everyone else. I like the variety of tone that Fender gives you. They're just, you can get more out. Especially, I mainly use the Jaguar HH because that is just, it can sound like a wasp in a tin can, or it can be thick and creamy. It seems to be able to do everything. Great instrument, that. I like that one. But yeah, I've tried a lot of the Fender ones, the Mustang, and I'd like to maybe get a Jazzmaster again. That's just selling something. You got to sell something to get something. I don't know, but yeah, I just kind of fell into it, really. I had a lot of time for Godin back in the day, but because they give you zero support, absolutely all support when things don't go well, I've had to stop using their instruments, and that saddens me because we had some good times together. But if you're not going to support me when I ask you a question, or say, where can I get strings for this instrument, or how can I get a tuning peg for this guitar, and they go, there's been 2 or 3 instances when I've asked them for help and they don't. And that's the same reason why I don't buy Roland products, because I had an issue with my audio interface many years ago and got in touch with their support, and they laughed at me. I said, that's very old. I went, yeah, it still works. It's just you haven't updated the drivers. Are you gonna give me a new audio interface, or are you going to update the drivers? They didn't update the drivers, so I sold it. I sold it to somebody in India, I believe, via eBay, and I will never use Roland products again. So you kind of fall into things. And Fender, very good. Their support was very good, because I got the gold foil Jazzmaster triple one, straight from Fender Direct, but it sustained. I guess you'd call it relicking. It sustained some relicking in transit, which was amazing because it was in its bag, it was inside a cardboard box and really well packaged, but it was quite a big dent in the bottom of it, but didn't affect the guitar. And so I took some pictures of it and got in touch with their support and said, look, do I need to return this? And they offered me a significant discount there and then, and it was easily dealt with. So Fender, if you're buying from them direct, their customer service is excellent, so, and that's why I'm a Fender man. Fender does whatever a Fender man can, I believe. Where are we? Payne says, lots of guitars are great because some days it's just nice to have a choice. It is. It is. Now you're looking at somebody who purposefully said, "I'm not going to have many guitars. I'm not going to have many guitars," and that's why I use guitar modelling. I had my black Fender, which I'm tapping here, and I'm not going to have guitars, but going to use the Roland Fiji range and do guitar modelling, and that was nice for a while. And I could get a Telecaster sound or a 12-string sound or whatnot, and I did that for a very long time. And then I got upgraded to a Godin because it was all built into the guitar and it was more convenient. And that lasted for a while, and then you realise that wait a minute, Roland aren't supporting this. They don't bring out any drivers for any of this stuff. They are, if it goes wrong, it's going to cost me a fortune, and I've not had good experience with their customer service on a couple of times. So you move on, and that's how this all happened. Because once I got rid of that gear, I needed guitars to do the things that I used to be able to do out of a modelling box. So it's kind of gone the other way, and all this was kind of bought out of the proceeds of all my pedals and stuff that I sold, and I had lots of bits and bobs, and it just kind of, I put it all back into instruments and that. So that was nice, that was good, and I'm always on the lookout for new things. I've got another guitar. I've got a new guitar. But maybe I won't show it to you just yet. Maybe I will keep you going and let you see if you can guess what it is. You won't never be able to guess what it is. Renee says, "You early? Extra long one?" No, I'm just early. It's going to be regular sized one. I just thought, I thought sometimes my energy levels are a little bit dipping, and also there's a lot of people around at was it 10, 10:15 when I take the dog out, and I like it when it's nice and quiet, when it's just me and my dog. And so I just fancied swapping it around, maybe to get some more passing trade, because we're on a bit earlier. I think the late nights, I don't think the late nights, mind you, 11 viewers, 13 viewers, I don't think it is good. I think we're getting fewer viewers being on earlier. Oopsie. David says, "Yeah, it seems dumb to block you on those sites since you could pretty easily circumvent that." Well, I could just start a new account. You can have multiple accounts and get around it. I think it's to just teach him a lesson, because I don't go onto their Facebook pages and cause trouble. That's not my style. Unless I don't know, a joke didn't go down too well, but I don't go on there and cause a fuss or anything. I'm fairly kind of passive. If you follow me on Facebook, you know the kind of mischief I get up to. I'm a little mischief maker. I'm not malevolent. I'm just a little tinker. Though it's nice to get. I like getting insults. I get insults now on Facebook. I don't get insulted on YouTube anymore. It's now Facebook direct messages I get the insults on. So that's good. I'm getting more followers on Facebook than I get on YouTube. No one cares about me on YouTube. It's happening on Facebook. It's weird, but no, I mean I don't let it. It doesn't bother me because there's loads of people that have blocked me on Twitter, X. I don't even understand why, because I had zero interaction with them. But I am on lists. I'm on a number of lists because I'm so controversial. Oh, the world we live in. We live in a strange times, strange, weird world. But it's just the nature of the internet and how stupid people are. There's an awful lot of stupid out there, and it's going to get worse. We're going to get stupider. It's going to be great. Andrew said hello. Andrew's in. And Russell says hello to Andrew. Andrew says hello to me. Andrew says hello to Russell. Renee says, "Hey Andrew." Andrew says, "Hi Renee." And Russell says, "Fender are more switched on generally. You get more variety and more interesting guitars. At least they do try and do something different with their range, and in their paranormal series and their pawn shop series that they've done in the past decade, they've come up with some weird and wonderful instruments. The only problem is the prices are getting a bit Gibson-y, if you know what I mean. They're getting a bit high, and I don't think that's particularly I don't think that's a good idea for the kids. But you got the Squire range. Now the Squire range is really interesting because again they do some interesting things. But I wish Fender would just put Fender on the headstock. They can do it in a different font and call it Fender Squire, because that's how most of these guitars are advertised now. They're advertised as Fender Squires, and they should put that on the headstock, and Fender Squire should be the budget brand, because I don't know, Squire just feels wrong. Squire by Fender, that's what it says on there. And look, I like him. I just like having all it's just a thing. I like uniformity. I want them all to say Fender. Stop messing me around, Mr. Fender man. Call them all Fender. I'd be done with it. You know? But no, I mean, there's some good bargains to be had there. So yeah. David says 14! Exclaims. Yeah, 14. I don't know what 14 means. Oh, I was talking about people in, sorry. Payne says, click the button. Yeah, click the button. Nuke me from outer space. 7 people. 16 people in, 7 people like it. That means, was it 9 people are just punching their gonads as they watch to really maximise their suffering. David says, I hate Facebook personally. I'm ambivalent to it. It's I like going on there just to be a little bit of a tinker on the news stories and act the goat and see how many likes I can get. You know, say stupid shit and see how far I can take it. Oh dear! But I don't spend too much time doing that. So you know, it's a bit of a mess as a website. It's a bit of a mess. But then Twitter's kind of fallen X. I've got to get used to calling it X. It's kind of followed Facebook. I don't think, again, there isn't a satisfying social media experience now. You know, it's all a bit of a mess, and you know, Facebook wrestled, you know, any editorial control away from the user, so they control what you see, and it's the same with Twitter X. You know, so I think social media is all pretty useless, really. You kind of got to be of it, and I'm not of it. I'm kind of on the edge of it, and I don't want to get drawn into it. You know, it's not something that I get a lot of enjoyment from, other than to be a little bit of a tinker and say silly stuff. But you know, and as for Twitter, I tend to use it more as a news feed. You know, so yeah, more of a news feed. Renee says the Gibson Les Paul 57 Black Beauty is a nice guitar. A bit expensive though. Yeah, I could never. You made me say it again. I will never buy a Gibson first hand because of what Gibson did with all those Firebird X's, and it's a notorious clip. I'm not going to play it because it just makes me cry. It really does. It first time I watched it, I cried. You know, because imagine a trench. Imagine a trench in the sand, and there are maybe 100, possibly 200 Firebird X's, various colours and hues, all laid in said trench, and then a digger goes over them and smashes every single one of them. The caterpillar tracks, pushes them, and cracks each neck, and they smash these very expensive guitars as a tax write-off. And somebody videoed it and uploaded it to YouTube, and it was very shocking. And ever since then, I've said, no, never buying a Gibson or an Epiphone. You know, not first hand. I'll buy them second hand if I ever see them, but you know, I'm not really in that game. And yeah, I think there's a company that was a disgusting thing to do, because those guitars, they were saying that they were, there was a mechanical fault. Well, how comes they weren't recalled? They had batteries in. Were the batteries going to explode? You know, was there a real problem? There was no recall notice. That was a load of old phooey. And those guitars could have been repurposed and given to schools, you know, or charities or something. They could have been, so much could have been done with those instruments, and they just destroyed them for a tax write-off. And I just think that is just one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. I mean, crikey, even You know, even Fender repurpose guitars and bodies in their history. You know, if they've got too many, you know, guitar bodies, they'll, you know, stick a, you know, like on a Telecaster, they'll stick a Fender Stratocaster neck on. You can see the Telecaster Deluxe. You know, they'll do these weird hybrids because they've got extra bits left over, and that's good. I like that, but not a fan of Gibson. So, no, not good, not good, not good, not good. But yeah, nice guitars though. Harry's in now. Harry, got to be careful around Harry, right? Because he's one of them now. He's one of them. No, I'm not saying you got to put your backs to the wall. Mind you, you keyboard player or what are you? You keyboards? Not sure. Not sure what Harry does. Harry's in Asia now, and I don't mean the continent, the group. So we've got to be very nice. Now I think it's because of my influence. I think, you know, you come in here, you know, I think open doors. I think he opened doors. Harry said, you know, I hang around with the Howard Stern of prog, and the doors flung open for him. And I like to take credit for his appointment into Asia, the band. That's it. That's it. I know. Don't all thank me. I'm joking. Yeah, Harry is actually in Asia. Well done, amazing work. If you can get it, and hopefully it leads on to even more interesting things. You know, it's must be very, very exciting for you. So yeah, well done. So let's all give him a virtual. Let's all give him the clap. He's got the clap now. There you go. Russell says, I wouldn't say no to any of the Classic Vibe series. They're very good. Classic Vibe, very good series. The Classic Vibe Starcaster, I had one of those. Very nice. What else did I have? A classic? Oh, this is a Classic Vibe, isn't it? I suppose. Oh, the Purple Peril. This is a Classic Vibe one, and this I think is probably my best guitar actually. I think this is my best, and this is actually one of Alan's guitars. I had one of these, but I got this one, and I made a video of it called the Friday Afternoon Guitar, because mine was a Friday afternoon guitar. Alan got the best one. Alan's one was actually sparkly and purple. Mine didn't sparkle like that. Oh no. So I was very, very envious. So when I took ownership of this, I sold my one and I kept Alan's one, and it sounds just like it now. And again, the interesting thing is the switch and the pots on this do not crackle and pop like mine used to do. Because I had a Friday afternoon guitar. Friday afternoon guitar, for those who don't know, it's the guitar that's done on a Friday afternoon and the worker wants to get home early or go to the pub or wherever it is and just knocks it out the door. I can imagine that mine, they didn't have much sparkly purple paint there. Whoa there. Whoops. What have I done? Is it going to fall off the wall? How did I do that? Stay. That's gone off the wall, man. Stay, Charlotte. Stay. Don't fall off the wall. Made the dog bark as well. So yeah, I got a Friday afternoon guitar. Not anymore though. Got Alan's guitar. Much more sparkly and purpley. Andrew says, did anyone buy Record Store Day? Still wouldn't mind the Ergus Ridge Oldfield one. I did this before you came in, but I'll do it again. Because again, for those of you who don't know, at the beginning of the hour, when no one's here, I ramble incoherently to myself in order to fill time. I felt rather grubby and dirty and nasty because I got the Oldfield. And I got the Who, Story of the Who one, because I've been collecting those for many years. Every time that there's a Who Record Store Day one, I studiously, hit refresh and get a copy. And also today I found a cheap version, well, the cheapest version I could find of the Roaches' first album on red vinyl. Again, it's a personally favourite album of mine, which I got. I remember buying it on CD, still got it on the shelf over there, on my 30th birthday, and I was in LA. And again, it was one of those records that you couldn't get in the UK, and I got their first and third albums on CD, and I just remember listening to that album in LA and in the Marriott, downtown Marriott, where they filmed Weapon of Choice with Christopher Walken doing the dancing. They'd actually filmed that the month previous we was there, so just like little, So I sat in the same chair that Christopher Walken sat in. Yeah. I sat in the same chair. There you go. That's it. He didn't leave his watch behind, though. Didn't leave his watch behind there. So yeah, it's got a special place because it was my 30th birthday, and listen to that. So I picked that one up for me sins, and I've spent too much money, and I feel kind of grubby about it. I feel like some sort of Pavlov's dog. They ring their little bell, and I get me debit card out and spend the money. But I had a win. I had a win on the gambling last night, so some of it's paid for, because I'm an inveterate gambler now. So there you go. It's a terrible, terrible thing. It's all right. It's all right when you're winning. Not so good when you're losing, though. But I don't lose, so everything's fine. Harry says, "Oh, Darren, the door opener." Yeah, correct. Well, I always open the door because I was born a gentleman. You see, I was brought up a gentleman. I always open the door. I always open the door for others. Let everyone go first. If I'd have been on the Titanic, I would have been pushing you all into the lifeboats. God damn it. So yeah, well anyway, no, it's really cool news. It's funny because I don't follow Asia, but I do follow. It must have been John Wetton's old account, and it came up on that, and it's oh wow, that's good news. I know that name. That's someone I know, ish. Virtually, if you know what I mean. So I thought it was really good. So yeah, well done, well done. Yeah. So yeah, it's got to be quiet now. Got to be quiet. Shall I show you my new guitar? Who wants to see my new guitar? Okay. I imagine, if I close my eyes, I imagine that you've all got your hands up. All, how many? How many are there? All 14 of you. Jesus Christ. Do you remember when you used to have like 53, 55 viewers? I can't get fucking arrested now. Oh, right, guys. Now, I don't know whether to. Maybe I might have to go large on this. All right, because it's a bit heavy. It's a bit heavy. You ready for this? You ready? I'm gonna do it this way. Look at that. Look. What do you reckon? Yeah. Oh, I'm teasing you. Look at that. Look. Oh, look at that. Oh. Are you ready? You ready for this? Okay. Now it doesn't really work. This isn't a Fender. I don't know what this is. It is a very small guitar. It's not even child size. It's very, very strange, and I think somebody built it. And I saw this on Cash Converters, which is my playground. It's my adult playground where I go to look for all weird and wonderful things. And I saw this for 50 quid. And I went, oh, I got to buy that. I got to buy that. And it came to me in a terrible, terrible state. Was it Friday? And I spent the weekend cleaning it up and putting a new bridge piece in it and just doing everything. And the neck wasn't screwed on properly, and it was missing all the screws, and basically it was all rusty. And but I've just been pissing around with it, and it's a parts caster of some description, but it is incredibly tiny, and it's the weirdest neck. I mean, it's a real neck. It was a real factory neck. It wasn't hand built. So I don't know where it came from. And whoever put the decal on did a really good job of it. You know, because I'm looking at it and going, that looks like it was put on professionally. You know, but the body, the actual finish on the body, again, it's not paint. You know, like it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird, but it's kind of relics because there's some bits knocked out of it. You know, and it was missing its strap locks as well. So I created well, I didn't create it, somebody else did, but I refined it. And I've been trying to get it to stay in tune. It's needed a lot of work. And again, the bridge was knackered before, so I bought a cheap Chinese bridge on it and was intonating it. And, you know, it's all right. It makes a noise. It's probably out of tune now because it's perfectly in tune. Sounds perfect. Yeah, so it was a bit of fun. I spent about 10 on it, just getting extra bits. So there you go. There you go. And there's still more I can do with it. I've got to go into the electrics because it's a bit buzzy. I don't think the person that constructed this monstrosity did the earthing because it's a bit buzzy, and I need to go in with me soldering iron and check if there's an earth cable. There was one going to the panel, you know, the back panel where the tremolo springs are, but I don't think there's anything going to the bridge. The bridge is, like I say, buzzing like no one's business when you put your hand on it, so it's like, that's not earthed. So I need to do that. But I thought it was a funny little project, you know. Your hands up, and Zeb's laughing. Russell says it's a nice seafoam colour. Yeah, I think it's seafoam green is the technical colour, and it's got a lovely pearloid pickguard, and the pickguard is small. It's like a really tiny. So I don't know where they got the bits from. I get the feeling that it's a miniature guitar of some description, but it's been modified. But the neck, I don't know. Don't think the neck itself is a Fender neck because it's been the neck's been carved. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but a little bit of fun, you know, something to hang on the wall, you know, something to do some visual gags with, you know. I was looking to get maybe a seafoam green Strat, you know, big one, and you could do some. I know there's some visual things we can do with that. I just thought it was for 50 quid on cash converters. You know, come on, it was worth a punt. You know, so. Renee says he once had a cash converters. Shame it isn't there anymore. Yeah, well, again, the good thing about cash converters, and I bought a few guitars from them and sold them on because sometimes they have some bargains in there. I did buy an Epiphone Black Beauty 3 pickup from them, and when it turned up, it actually had a crack in the neck. I went, I can't have that because I was going to sell it on, you see, and so they were very good. They took it back, and I got my refund. You know, so again, I recommend cash converters. I bought loads of stuff from them. I only buy mainly Switch games because you can get some dirt cheap Switch games on there as well. You know, old ones that you might be looking for. But yeah, I've bought keyboards from them. I've bought many guitars, cameras, computers. Many. I mean, my Apple MacBook, which is an old one, but I run Open Core, which means I can run Sonoma on it. It was just something, to use occasionally. because it's got an i7 processor in it, and I can run Parallels, which allows me to run Windows, because I can't run Windows XP on my current Mac because it's a M2 Mac and it doesn't do the so I have to have an i7 or an Intel machine just so I can run Parallels to go run Windows XP, so I can get access to my old music files for when I do archiving stuff. But it's boring. I've bored myself just thinking about it. Just thinking about it. It's so boring. Why is it all so boring? Russell says, could modify it into a mandolin. What do you mean, modify it into a mandolin? I don't need to. I've got one. I got this when Anderton, I think it was Anderton's, were selling them off. Oh, this was a bargain. And again, it's another little rarity. It's got a lovely bit of little figure in there. It's a two piece. There's a nice bit of figuring there. Yeah. Lovely instrument. God, I haven't played mandolin in ages. I've forgotten all my chords. Oh God. I can't. I have to. When I play mandolin, I have to get me mandolin chart up and remind myself of the chords because I don't play it too often. But a lovely little instrument, and I got it so cheap it's not even funny. Oh yeah. Put that over there. Russell says, is it better to buy from cash converters than sell? What, sell to cash converters? I've never sold anything to cash converters. Well, again, the problem with buying from them, right, is that they don't take very good pictures, but that can also be acting your advantage because sometimes they don't identify the instrument very well, and you can, if you know what you're looking for, you can go, that's a thing. That's a thing. So it can go in your advantage, but like with the Epiphone, I couldn't see that there was a crack in the neck that had been kind of repaired. I couldn't see it on the photos because the photos are not very high quality. Now, I think cash converters would do more business if they took lovely big photos of their instruments. But saying that, I won't get so many bargains. They also do reduce the price of things as well. If something's been hanging around for a long time, they'll knock money off. So, you go in there and they'll knock some money off or something. And, it's good if you want to try something and, maybe you can sell it on after you finish with it on eBay and recoup your losses. It's good in that respect. I think it's probably better if you've got one local to you that you can go and visually inspect the instrument. I take a bit of a risk, but then I'm prepared to send it back. So, I'm all right because, I can do that. It's no big deal. But, I go in there, I have a look. Sometimes there's some good things there. Sometimes there isn't. It's it's luck of the draw, isn't it, really? And sometimes they don't actually. Some of the instruments in the stores don't do postage, so you have to go in and collect. So that can be a bit limiting too. So the more expensive stuff, Russell adds, I'm the same about the mandolin. I've got 5 go-to chords. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I used to play a lot a long time ago. Again, I had a little mandolin, and then my mum sold it. Told you that story many times. But no, I used to like playing it. It's in the family because my grandmother's uncle used to play the mandolin and go around the pubs at the East End and sing for his supper. So, I feel like it's part of my culture. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, the sound of the honky-tonk piano and the mandolin is very much in my blood. So that's why I have a mandolin. It's a callback to my culture. So there you go. But yeah, the mandolin was heard in pubs in the East End. back in the day, because you'd have somebody playing the piano and somebody playing the mandolin, because it was easier to transport around than a guitar. And there was a lot of like mandolins coming from, I think, Italy back in the day. So you can still get the bowl-back mandolins. They're quite cheap to pick up. But it's trying to find a good one because of the age. They weren't built to last. Bits fall off them, and necks warp and come off unglued and whatnot. So finding a good old mandolin can be a bit tricky. So yeah. Oh, got 20 viewers in there and only 9 likes. That means 18. God, I noticed. Then they went. It means 9 people are just suffering in silence. Don't suffer in silence. Thumbs it up. Go on, stick your thumb right up. They won't do it. Why is it when everybody else on YouTube asks for a thumbs up, they get it? I have to beg. You make me beg for it. Don't make me beg. Don't make me beg. Any more for any more? Any more for any more? Oh, limited ads on this one again. I'll put in a human review request, because it's very controversial what we're talking about. Mandolins and rosewood necks, isn't it? It's very controversial. Very controversial. Oh, YouTube, why do you hate me so much? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. I've been busy editing and uploading guitar videos to my other channel, so I've got loads of stuff in the folder that I need to work through from the Harwood collection, so I've gone back to doing that again, because I find video editing just so utterly boring, because it just takes so long for everything to process, and you're sitting there just machine minding like that. It's like, oh, it's so boring, because you're doing everything in 4K. When everything was in 1080p, it used to be a bit whizzier, but now everything's in 4K. It's like wading through treacle. It's utterly boring. Rene says, years ago, I sold a Casio keyboard at Cash Converters. I got a fair price for it. Bought a lot of stuff also. Nice shop, it was. Dog Cam, she's not here. She's upstairs, probably with Verity. She now has she always had the freedom of the house, but she tends to not need to be with me anymore. She knows that the camera's coming. She knows, and she's like, no, I'm not having any of that. So when it's colder, she'll probably be in the room with me because they're having all the doors shut and everything. But no dog cam. No dog cam. Wait a minute. Whoops. Wait a minute. I was wrong. We do have dog cam. Wait a minute. Let me just get the camera. Who's this? Who's this furry friend? Wow, it's a little border collie pup. Hello there. What are you doing here? I'm not doing anything. I'm just feeling a bit rough. There you go. Get a little bit of puppet comedy. There you go. You don't get that anywhere else. Oh no. I'm 53, You think I'd know better. I don't. Remember, folks, you can give me money. You can give me money for this nonsense. Just hit the $sign and give me all your lovely hard-earned cash, because I'm nothing more than a terrible, terrible e-beggar sent here to blight you like the cancer that I am. So there we go. That was the thing. Also, you can go to darrenlock.music. No, that ain't right. I'll get it right in a minute. What's the Bandcamp page called again? Oh, I really ought to write this down on a bit of paper. darrenlock.bandcamp.com. Yeah, that sounds about right. You can go there, and God, it's just so much shit. So much shit. I've wasted my entire life recording shitty music that no one will ever listen to. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I waste my life on all of this when I could have, I don't know, got a nice job in banking or something? But yeah, here we are. That was an advert. That's really good, isn't it? It was almost invisible. Did you notice how invisible that advert was? It's invisible. You didn't even notice it. And now you're reaching for your wallets and thinking, why am I reaching for my wallet? Did he hypnotise me? You're all hexed now. I've hexed all of you. There you go. All the ones that haven't given me money. You're all hexed. Anyway. Come on, guys. I need some help here. I'm dying on my arse. There's only so much comedy I can do. Rennie says, Doggy Layla does not love me anymore. Oh, I think she does. She was sitting on me earlier because she got scared. She loves me. She loved me long time. But no, I think she's saying goodnight to Very. She likes to be upstairs when the kids go to bed. She likes to say goodnight to everybody and play ball before bed. Russell says, why does Doctor Who take so long to produce these days? No, probably because it's like, oh shit. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Because, you know, oh, you want Doctor Who? Okay, let's do Doctor Who. Oh, did you see? Did you see? Oh, God. Right, are you ready for this? I don't know if this. I did check. I checked the calendar, but apparently, this is the cover of Doctor Who magazine. But I don't know if it is, and they've got. I don't know who these guys are, but I'm sure he used to be an Hello Hello as Hair Flick, and I think that one there's your lesbian aunt, and that guy at the bottom there was in Big Bang Theory. And no, don't know who that fella is meant to be. But yeah, this is the Beatles. They're doing the Beatles. The Beatles. But there's absolutely no way they've got clearance for any of the music. So that's why it takes so long. They don't even look like the Rattles. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Just fucking awful. And I'm off to London tomorrow on the night sleeper train. Oh dear. You're not trying to break into Buckingham Palace again, are you? Oh dear. I thought they'd got an injunction against you, Andrew. But have you heard the news? Have you heard the news? Have you heard the news? Oh, I've got to get it up. David Gilmour has updated his profile picture to this. Yes, he's doing a concept album based on the TV show Bottom. Something's happening to Dave Gilmour. He's been putting updates out. He's been playing like music. His videos have been playing guitar rather badly. And yes, it looks like we're going to get another Davy Boy Gilmour live album. Or an album and live album. There'll be everything. There'll be coconuts. Why do I say coconuts? What kind of free association shit is this? I don't know. Coconuts. There'll be coconuts for you to collect. Limited edition coconuts with David Gilmour's face painted on. Yeah, that works. That sounds funny. And yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. T-Dog said, did I finish Baby Reindeer? Yes. Yes, I did. And also finished Fallout as well, which is very good too. I recommend both. Though I think it's quite funny because I said that Baby Reindeer is a popular show. It had 2.5 million viewers. And you go, 2.5 million viewers? That was the average viewership of a primetime TV show on BBC Two. That is prime. 2.5 million viewers. Netflix covers the fucking world. What's the percentage of that? Is of subscribers? Isn't there something like 60 million subscribers on Netflix, and only 2.5 million watch that show? It's not good. It's not good, is it? Russell says, I'm surprised they got clearance on the cover. It's a spoof, so you can spoof things. So, you know, parody is okay. Just can't trading off. That's the law. Can't do that. Andrew says, you're very lucky that the British Rail does not stop at Loughton, otherwise I'd pop in for a cup of tea. Do you know what? I'd be out that day. I would be. I would be out. Renee says, did you like Fallout? Yeah, I did. I thought it was very good. There will be a season 2. Do you know what? I already knew that because they announced season 2 the day before the episodes for Fallout dropped on Amazon Prime. So it was like, oh, that should be good. And I mean, did I know that Jonathan Nolan was behind it? I didn't know initially, but it was only when it was coming up to the release date, and it was like, oh, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are behind it. I'm thinking, oh, the Westworld people, Christopher Nolan's brother. I thought, oh, well, that's going to be good. And, visually, it had the same kind of feel, as Westworld. I mean, crikey, there's a guy in it who's a cowboy, there's a cowboy in it. So what we need is a Fallout Westworld crossover. But Jonathan Nolan has said that we could be getting the final series of Westworld if things work out. Now, I'm hoping that Amazon Prime are really impressed with what he does with Fallout and then says to him, go on, finish Westworld, and gives him a nice big check to do that. Because I think the people were all contracted to finish that last season, but they didn't because HBO are stupid. But there you go. But no, it was a good show. And again, if you played the game, and I played Fallout 4. I came to the party a bit late, and I've kind of dipped into the others. I can't say I've really played them. I've dipped in, but Fallout 4 I've played. I've played many hours of it. So I was pretty impressed with the atmosphere of it, and it inspired Verity to download Fallout 4 and start playing it. And she said, "You're right, Dad. Going out of the vault and everything, it's just like the TV show. They got the atmosphere just right." And I went, "Yep, they did, didn't they?" And her teacher watched it, and she plays Fallout 4, but unfortunately she's leaving. So Verity was a bit bummed out today because she found out that one of her favourite teachers is leaving. So that's a shame, isn't it? Alex says, have you ever heard or owned any Delia Derbyshire albums? Yes and no. I have listened to her work via various means. I've watched many documentaries about Delia Derbyshire. Terrible alcoholic, unfortunate lady. Could have had a better, brighter career if it wasn't for the alcoholism, but that's just the way it goes. But I've never really felt the need to buy a Delia Derbyshire album. Russell says, I haven't seen Fallout yet. Well, you should if you've played the game. I mean, even if you haven't, the missus and Verity hadn't played the game, and they watched it and they really liked it. Because again, Jonathan Nolan is very good at telling a story. He gets pace. He gets the idea. Don't introduce too many characters at the same time. It's not like Game of Thrones or that goddamn awful 3-body problem that's on at the moment, which we started. I think we're nearly halfway through it, but oh God, I just don't care. It's just kind of ground me down. But yeah, Jonathan Nolan really knows how to get the pacing right. It's not. He'll do cliffhangers within the episode, which is quite clever. He'll start the episode on a cliffhanger, and then come back to it in the middle of the episode. And yeah, I just like the way he does things. He's got a very good visual eye, and it just looks like the game. They got all the without it being overly. Well, no, there's a lot of fan service, but the casual viewer can watch it. It works on many levels, it works on many different levels. And thoroughly enjoyed it. And really looking, Verity says, I want season 2. I want it now. You can't have it now. You've got to wait for it. And yes, already answered Renee's question there. So yeah. So that was it. That was good, wasn't it? Are we having a good time? We've got fewer viewers this time round. I think I've really killed the live stream by going early. There'll be people who come in at 11. No, they won't. It's only the diehards, the old faithful, who come for this. Any more? No? Okay then. Well, I'm going to sod off now, and I recommend you all sod off too. Okay, because we've had our fun, and it's gone at a zippy pace. I like it. It's working for me. I feel like the energy levels are alright. You know, I don't feel too worn out, and this has been good for me. Hopefully we'll do this all again soon. Hopefully you've had a good time, and you know. And I'm going to say, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Though I imagine most of the people who watch this have probably subscribed, and I don't think many new viewers will be watching this, because why would they? This is only about people that are interested in Rosewood necks on guitars, god damn it. And yeah, we'll do this all again soon. Hopefully you had fun. That's it. Mind you, and she'll see you when I get back. Well, you won't be gone long. You'll be back before you know it. You'll be back before you know. I'll put the tea on, yeah? Apparently, it was a good documentary about Gary Glitter on tonight, but I didn't see it. I'm going to watch it on catch up. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm going to enjoy that one. And Ross says, night, Darren. Thanks for the guitar chat. You're welcome. Remember, folks, if you can't be safe, but more importantly, don't tell your mother. Night, night.